You see, in Nigeria, we have a problem of ignorance. We basically do not know the type of things we do or the kind of persons we are in Nigeria. We always call ourselves a country that practices democracy, save our democracy. Everybody talks so much about democracy until it is time to practice democracy. Then you find out that it is very difficult to find one Nigerian who is actually democratic. Democracy is not what is written in textbooks or what they say in government houses. Democracy is actually crested in the minds and consciousness of the people. That is not available in Nigeria because we mostly only talk about democracy when the government is doing things that are anti-democratic. But when anti-democratic things are being privatized, we suddenly want to support them. Some people, because of sycophancy. I'm saying this because, like I've said before, the police is a creation of the bourgeoisie to continue to silence or let me say devalue the proletariat. The the higher class created this police to control the lower class. In the African setting or in the Nigerian setting, but in the West is the opposite. Why I'm saying this, the CEO of United Bank for Africa, Tony Elumelu, arrested someone and they said it's either defamation or libel or slander. I don't know what it is, but it's in the news that the person spread falsehood of a marriage failure. He said that Tony has divorced his wife. I don't know if there are other things he said because I saw a post that was claiming that the person said Tony's daughter is infected with HIV. I don't know, but the one that is really making the round is the person claimed that Tony Elumelu has divorced his wife. That's a very unfortunate thing to say, quite unfortunate to say, especially for someone who has that personality. Tony Elumelu is not just a person, he's a brand. So anything of such could just dent his brand, and it's not good for him, it's not good for his business. These are common things, but they can really affect someone's personality outside of Nigeria, because in Nigeria anything goes. Someone can do or say anything to you and your personality is still intact. But Tony Elumelu is an international business person. He deals with presidents, he deals with controllers of conglomerates. So that kind of talk is not supposed to come around him. But like the philosopher Voltaire said, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. That is where democracy comes to test. Do we really practice democracy in Nigeria? Because if we do, what is Tony arresting the young man for? Why are people supporting Tony? There is this other guy that says his name is JJ Omojua, who has been making noise about it. If this guy doesn't get arrested, it's not justice. Justice is not about arresting. When you arrest somebody, that's not justice. Justice is given by a court pronouncement. Sometimes arrest can be intimidation, and it looks like one in the Tony Elumelu's case. Might not be, but it looks like. Because someone said you are no longer married, you've divorced your wife. If you feel offended by such declaration, it's very simple. You have lawyers. Get your lawyers, they can track him and then invite him to court to come and explain. It is when he has refused to obey, court orders, then the court can say, police, over to you, get this person. The way the high and mighty just make use of the police, ah, and then there are people who would want to start saying, Tinubu save our democracy. Those same people will be cheering Tony Elumeli on. He's supposed to arrest him. Bro, you're not supposed to arrest the guy. If that guy is still in custody, it is a thing of principle for you to let him go. Charge him to court if you feel any offense or injury as a result of whatever he has said. Charge him to court. We are not in the Robinson Crusoe era. Charge him to court. Let him go and answer in court. But then, when things like this happen, I always see where Nigerians make reference to Idi Amin. You know that how Idi Amin said it, I guarantee freedom of speech, but freedom after speech, I do not know. It is the same people who are always pushing for democracy or for democratic government that are quoting a field marshal. Idi Amin was a field marshal. Idi Amin saw himself as the controller of the universe, and particularly Uganda. That's the kind of person that people who claim to be in love with democracy will always cite when trying to defend their madness. But there are examples of how I felt or thought Tony Elumelu and a lot of other people who have sued people for defamation would have handled it. I'm not saying don't sue for defamation, but don't bring the police. It's not, it doesn't make sense. Davido, the Nigerian artist, there was a time someone said he is not the father of his child, his daughter. A lady claimed that Davido is not the father of his daughter. What did Davido's father do? He simply went and brought proof that Davido was the father. He sat down, and a billionaire sat down and recorded a video explaining in details. See this DNA test we did in this hospital. See another DNA test we did in this hospital. See another DNA test we did in this hospital. Or was it that Davido was not the father of his child, or Davido got her pregnant? I think it was Davido getting the lady pregnant, and they did DNA. Davido was able to subject himself, I think by the advice of his father, to a DNA test, even though he knew he didn't do this. And then the father came out and explained. And since then, that matter have died a natural death. Davido was no longer insulted. He was not even insulted. His father, the respect his father got from doing just that was tripled. I saw people posting, I want to have a father like this that will go all out to protect my image. That's what he did. He's a fellow billionaire. Just today, I saw a post by Femi Otedola. Someone said I think he was trying to strike a deal with Dangote, which he claimed was false. And he just came out on his media handle and said, this thing this person said is false. Disregard this. People should stop bearing falsehood against people. That was it. Nobody even knew who that person is. No, no. If you went to the comments, they were all everybody on the comments were attacking the person. You know, that's how life is supposed to be. Well, you, in as much as what the person did to you was wrong, it's not right to go and say someone is divorced when they aren't. I don't know what the person is hoping on achieving with that, but your reaction to it speaks volume. In fact, between the rich and the poor, whenever it's like there is a police case between the rich and the poor, automatically in the minds of some other poor people, what they see is oppression. You want to oppress him because he is poor. In Nigeria, poor people sees the rich people as the reason for their being poor, and a lot of times they are not wrong. So when it's you, high and mighty, Tony Elumelu of all people, getting maybe someone who doesn't even earn up to 50,000 naira a month, getting that kind of person arrested. Misery love company. A lot of poor people will gather together and start thinking you are oppressing the person. That doesn't mean justice shouldn't prevail, but getting the police involved is what I'm talking about. If Tony Elumelu could have gone on to say, disregard this information, it's false. I and my wife are still together. My daughter doesn't have HIV. You don't necessarily have to provide hospital proof that there is no HIV. Just say it and move on. Everybody will move on. But you see, you've gone to arrest the person and the whole issue has been blown. People are carrying it. Sure, if you didn't say that, if you didn't do what you did, Sure wouldn't call you a content creator. People that have not seen what to eat will not be bashing you. You just decided to make a mountain out of a mole. I believe you should have been too busy for stuff like that. I might be wrong. But this is not putting Tony Elumelu on the spot, right? I am talking about the Nigerian state in general. Everybody just want to show everybody, I pass you, I pass my neighbor over basically nothing. As we do all of these things like this, one day if you wake up here say one person don't die and that's the end. So what are we even alive for? The major problem is the government. The government is, in fact, it is the kind of government, the kind of system we operate that allows somebody to just come out and start lying about public figures. It is that same system that allows very rich people to go police on very poor people over something they could just clarify. If Tonelo Melu just said, that's false, please desist, that would have been the end. But it is gaining traction because of how he went about it. Dear Nigerians, stop going about showing people you are higher or mightier than they are. Just be. Some people are clownish. Just allow them to clown on. It will not stop you from making your daily bread. The problem is the government. We should be focused on the government. How would you just look at it now? Come out to say someone is divorced. What does that fetch you? It has fetched you, police, um, a police situation right now. And I was thinking is a very young person. I saw the photo. Is an elderly person. He's over 50 from how it looks. Maybe someone is trying to tarnish the image of Tony Elumelu, but the police is my own concern. And you police, anything where they just throw give on a go jump pattern. You can't say, this is not within our jurisdiction. Get the court. Carry and go detain her. And then when I say after 24 hours, someone is supposed to be charged to court. 24 hours never passed. I don't know. But democratic Nigeria is far from being it. As long as an individual doesn't feel democratic in their mind, democracy will continue to remain a charade. The people in government are a reflection of the mind of the people in general. Leaders have never fallen from the skies. Try to have a democratic mind, and Nigeria will be truly democratic. Until then, we are anti democratic. That's just what it is.